So, more bad news for Tesla as Chinese EV automaker BYD announcing price cuts as competition intensifies in the EV space. So, in return for an 88 deposit, buyers of the Seal EV can get a 8,888 yuan deducted from the price, while the Song Plus models get a discount of 6,888 yuan. Now, this follows price cuts announced by Tesla a couple of days ago, s dropping their prices of the Model S luxury sedan and the Model X sports utility sedan SUV by 5% and 9% respectively, coming a month after they slashed prices of the Model Y and Model 3 by 20% and 14% respectively. So when Tesla announced these price cuts, I know I made videos about how their competitors are not going to stand still. They're not going to just say, oh, Tesla cut their prices. Uh, it sucks to be us. We're now going to lose all of our sales to Tesla. That's not what they were going to do. And I said as much. I said competitors won't stand still. They're going to retaliate, and we're seeing that retaliation now. BYD cutting its prices. A little while earlier, Ford on January 30th announced that it was cutting prices on its Mustang Mach E, slashing $6,000 off the standard Mach E price. And this is just the beginning, in my opinion. If Tesla intends on starting a price war, then this is going to continue for several quarters. It's not going to end early, and it's not likely to end well for anyone. Regardless of who wins, they're all going to come out of this battered and bruised. And let me show you why here. So what I have pulled up here is the cash balance of several EV companies right now. So I've got here pulled up Tesla, Rivian, BYD, NIO, Lucid Group, and Ford Motor Company. And look at their balance sheets here. Ford has $25 billion in cash. Tesla's got $16 billion. Rivian's got 11.57 billion, and they just announced that they're going to borrow another $1.5 billion. BYD's got 6.3 billion, NIO's got 2.88 billion, and Lucid's got 1.736 billion, and it's backed by the powerful Saudi Arabian investment portfolio. So, what I the point I'm making with showing you these cash balances is that these companies are all well capitalized. Remember back in 2020 and 2021 when there was all this hype around electric vehicles, many of these companies raised capital and borrowed billions of dollars and raised equity. I'm thinking Rivian, for one, was able to get their hands on billions and billions of dollars. Tesla as well was able to raise billions and billions of dollars during those times. And now they've got deep pockets. So it's not as if you do these price cuts and let's say Tesla lowers its price and now the competitors are lowering their prices, and that's going to lead to lower profit margins for everyone. However, Tesla has the highest profit margins industry wide, right? At least gross profit margin for sure. They've got the higher margin. So they've got more room in terms of their profit margin. So if everybody's gross profit margin falls by let's say 5%, Tesla will go from 25 to 20 while the others might go negative. Some are already negative and they'll get even more negative, like Rivian and Lucid will get even worse, right? But that doesn't mean that they're going to say, oh, we're negative for the quarter. We're going to say we're going to quit and we're going to give up this whole EV thing. That may have been the case if they weren't as well capitalized, but they've all got billions of dollars. It's going to take a long time for them to work through all of these billions of dollars to finally come to the point where they say, okay, we quit. You win, right? That's going to take a while for it to play out. Meanwhile, during that entire time, everyone's profit margin is going to be hurt with these price wars, right? Because you have to respond. If your competitor lowers their prices, you're probably going to respond with price cuts of your own or some type of retaliatory action to combat that price cut, because you're not just going to give up that market share. You're just not going to say, okay, you can have the market share, you can take the customers if you're willing to offer a lower price. And we're seeing that, right? We're seeing in response to Tesla's price cuts, we're seeing several other companies now, BYD being the latest, announcing price cuts of their own. And I've been saying this for several months now on my channel, that as an investor, you don't want to be investing in an industry that's going through this type of fierce competition. It's difficult to predict who's going to win, even though there's a clear leader right now with Tesla in terms of profit margins. It's difficult to predict that Tesla will be the winner at the end. However, what is likely and what you can predict is that profit margins for the entire industry is going to go down, right? And this could last several quarters, maybe several years, looking at how much cash these companies all have in their balance sheet. And then at the end of these price wars, let's say, we fast forward 3 years later, and let's say Tesla has won and two or three of these companies have exited the industry. It's going to be difficult for Tesla to go and say, okay, our competition is out, now we can raise prices and now we can increase our profits. That's difficult to do because customers have gotten into the habit of expecting the lower prices, and if you shock them with higher prices, they're going to switch over to rivals at that point, because Tesla's not going to be the only one standing. There's still going to be competitors, even if it's not, as many as they have right now. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now. So as a rule, I tend to avoid industries like this. The EV industry right now is one where the competition is um, at at a place where I would not want to be an investor. Another area I've been talking about where I would not want to be an investor is with the food delivery companies like Uber or DoorDash, right? Because they're experiencing similar competition where they're just promotion after promotion, and what you're seeing is many of those companies are losing a lot of money on the bottom line. So as a rule, one of my investing rules, one of my frameworks for investing, I try to stay away from industries and companies inside industries that are experiencing this kind of fierce competition. Now, I'm not saying that, who's going to be a winner. I don't know, right? I admit Tesla is the leader in the industry for now, and it's likely that Tesla can sustain lower prices and lower profit margins comparatively, because it's got, a significant cash balance and it's got the higher profit margins. But still, it's going to be hurt, right? The management said that their gross profit margin could fall into the teens this year from the 25% rate. So regardless if, it's going to win or not, it's going to be hurt for several years, and that's going to be billions and billions of dollars in gross profits that's going to be shrunk because of this competition. So that's the point I wanted to make with this video, is to reiterate what I've been saying in terms of competition rising in the EV space, and for investors to be cautious here, because it's not only that competition is fierce here, but it's also that valuations are expensive. None of these stocks are cheap. None of these EV stocks are cheap. So you're investing in an industry with fierce competition and you're paying expensive valuations, which can be a dangerous mix. Okay, it can be a dangerous mix. Now, there is the potential for explosive rewards for picking the right one. However, there is also an elevated risk. So just be cautious here. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying, sell these or short them or anything like that. I'm just saying be aware that rising competition is not good news for anyone. I know I've seen some stories and uh, some people on YouTube discuss how this is all great news for Tesla, and it's not. It's not. In my opinion, it's not great news for anybody. Competition is not Rising competition is not great news for anyone participating in the industry except for the customers. It's good news for the customers because we're gonna now get lower prices. All right, so that's all I've got for this video. As always, I appreciate your viewership. I know there's a lot of things you could be doing, but you chose to watch this video. I appreciate that. Thank you. And if you like this video, I'm going to link to a couple of other videos at the end that I think you'll also enjoy. So please click on one of those and I'll see you there.